I'm not surprised, no. But between the Ukraine and the gas prices going up, everything's going to get more expensive.
Well, obviously. James Crean, president of Crean, he's a supply chain expert, and he's with me to talk about what you're experiencing. Mr. Crean, thanks for being along. I appreciate it very much.
My pleasure.
You know, the supply chain started getting beat up during the pandemic, and I don't know if it ever recovered totally before the Russian invasion. But when we're talking about supply chain issues, a big part of that, I can't think of very many, if anything, things that are sold in stores, grocery stores, retail outlets that aren't at some point trucked in. And when you have fuel prices going through the roof like we're seeing now, an already beat up system is just going to take it worse, right?
Well, it's true. I mean, like you say, the supply chain, as a whole really did not recover prior to this invasion. It's been a problem, as we all know, for quite a while. With the oil prices going where they're going, there's every single manufacturer, every single shipping company, that energy is an input, obviously. And so that's going to just continue to cause inflation as oil prices continue to rise. Hopefully they don't, but right now it's not looking great.
Well, no, the CPI report came out this morning. We're at an inflation rate of 7.9%. Hasn't been that high since 1982.
Yeah, it's and there's really unfortunately not a whole lot of forces that are going to cause that to let up anytime soon. I likened it to going and getting some brisket, right? I like my barbecue, and when I want to try something new, I look at my phone and I say, hey, where's a new barbecue place nearby? And I start looking at, how is this affected by Ukraine and then what Russia's doing? And I say, well, my cell phone has chips in it that are made using neon lasers. That neon is coming from 90% of it comes from Ukraine. It's using a GPS satellites that are launched on typically U.S. rockets, but a lot of those rockets have actually Russian-made rocket engines in them. I get on the road, I pay more for the gas to get there. I get to the restaurant. My brisket's twice as much as what it used to be because of the high costs that have been passed on to agriculture. The nitrogen coming out of natural gas is used for fertilizer, and those prices and the natural gas restrictions from this invasion cause those prices to go up. Grain prices go up. That feed the cattle. And so all of these things are all feeding just that, all those steps that I just want to go get some good brisket, and everywhere along the way I'm getting hammered price-wise.
Yeah, and the American people, there was a poll done, actually a series of polls, and they all pretty much came to the same conclusion. A vast majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So when the White House says, well, if you don't want to pay high gas prices, get an electric vehicle. Yeah, okay. Well, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, you're probably not going to drop 50 or 60 grand for an electric car. The whole thing seems upside down. And I'm looking at this, reverse engineering it, and I've been doing that for a while, trying to see if I can find some common threads to a brighter day for America. And I'll be honest with you, Mr. Crean, I don't see anything anytime soon happening to ease this burden on the supply chain, on the CPI index. I don't see anything happening. Whether Russia decides this afternoon okay, we're done, we're going back home. We've still got the same problems existing here in home.
We do, and it's a challenge of strategy rather than day-to-day tactics, right? So, when the Biden administration came in and on day one effectively declared war on the oil and gas industry and shutting down, for example, the Keystone XL pipeline and other infrastructure projects, well, you can't just turn it back on, right? Even if he said, gee, that was a mistake, let's get that flowing again. Well, it's not just the pipeline itself, it's the people and everything else. So you have people that have, been moved their families close to where the pipeline is being built, their kids are in school, all these other things. And when you shut it down, they move, and they're not just going to drop everything and go back and do that again. So it's hard to restart some of these kinds of projects, and you have to have a strategy for the entire economy. Like you mentioned, electric cars make up 3% of the cars on the road. Well, I don't have anything against electric cars, and I certainly, want a clean environment. But you got to have a strategy that works for the other 97% that are driving oil, cars that are use gas. And so it's a strategic problem. We have to recognize the importance of energy throughout the entire economy.
Yeah, no argument here. James Crean, president of Crean and supply chain expert. I appreciate your time. Hopefully we get a chance to talk again soon.